Hello there, guys. Long time no talk to. It is, I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, July 9th. And I just finished dropping off Paul and Matthew at their house. And we just finished spending the last 3 days going down to the Adirondacks and completing our 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st summits. If we hit another red light, I'll show you the badges. But I can show you a picture right here. And those are the badges that we got. And plus a bonus one, because probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 trips ago, we did Big Slide. And when we went to go buy our patch at 2 different stores that sell the patches, they both ran out. So just so happened that this time when we were there, we picked up one of our patches that we should have got a few trips ago. So we're all caught up on patches anyway. We're not missing any. And now we have 31 out of the 46 summits. So it's funny, every once in a while I talk to somebody like my chiropractor, and after telling her some of the really cool things we've done in the Adirondacks and the fact that it's right beside this beautiful little town called Lake Placid. It's a great 5-hour drive away from here, and you get to climb as many peaks as you want, and it's just beautiful. This time we actually brought these life straws because we were going to be doing our first camp. We've never camped before. We either get there, get to a hotel room, and then the next day we do a climb, and then we either go home or we stay another night and then we go home the next day. Sometimes we drive straight there, do a climb, stay in a hotel room, the next day do another climb, and then drive home. There's all these different variations of what we have done on these trips. And this specific one, we got up from Paul's house at 4:30 and left pretty much right away. Once the coffee was made, filled up our Yetis, and then drove there. We stopped in Belleville, had breakfast at the IHOP, and then continued on. I think we got to our destination trailhead. I think it was called Seymour Trailhead or Seaward Trailhead, and climbed Seymour Mountain. And you can possibly do it in one go, but we wanted to split it into 2, which means you have to bring tents and food and fuel and sleeping bags and all that stuff. So we learned a lot on this one. We were pretty much prepared, except like I didn't have the proper sleeping bag. I have like the one I use in Rusty and in R2, my summer one, but it's still way too big compared to Paul's sleeping bag is like this big once you roll it up and everything. Plus he had luckily he had an extra sleeping pad which you blow up, and it only takes apparently like 4 breaths to blow it up. And so Paul and I shared a tent because his tent was like a 2-man. When they say 2-man tent, it's not really a 2-man tent. You can definitely lie 2 people inside, but no, you can't have your backpacks in there. Like if it's going to rain, which it did, you can't have your packs in there with you. So luckily Matthew actually had like a 3 or 4-man tent, and he said the weight is negligible between the 2-man and the 3-man tent, and his was much bigger. And he basically slept in the big tent and had all 3 of our packs in his tent. And then Paul and I slept in his tent. And it was and we went to bed at like 8 o'clock at night because we hiked into Seymour Mountain and then came back just a little ways to where we left our packs and everything. And then we set up camp before we left. And that way we didn't have to carry all that extra stuff. And anyway, this was one of the first times. This is definitely the first time we camped on one of these. And this is the first time I ever drank from the rivers up there. Because you're going to be there for, 2 days, there's no way you want to carry 2 days of water with you. So Paul bought these life straws, and basically just a personal filtration system, and you can basically screw it to a bottle, like fill the bottle up with, it has to be a squeezable bottle too. You have to fill up, basically some people use like one of those water bottles, like a medium-sized water bottle, because it can kind of be squished, and then you can attach this system to it, and then you can, you know, draw on the straw plus squeeze the bottle, and then you can drink from that. Or you can just get your other bottle and then squeeze that bottle through your filtration system into your other bottle, and then fill that up, and then you can have bigger gulps instead of little sips. Because when you're hiking and it's warm out, you don't want to take little sips of water, you want like big gulps of water. And so day 2 came around, so it was working great. Everything was working great on the first day. Refilled up all of our water bottles and had our electrolytes and everything. But then the second day, I ran out of water pretty quickly, and it got to the point where we tried to put our water through our purification system, but it just takes so long because Carol has these really cool roll up plastic bottles basically, and so you screw the top off, pour in the river water into that, then you put your filtration on it, and you hang that upside down, then you squeeze it, and you're basically forcing it through your filter, and then you have clean drinking water. But again, after you use it so many times, it just gets slower and slower, and then you have to like back flush it and all that stuff. We still need to learn a little bit more about the system, but you know, you're like squeezing the bag, and you're like wasting all this energy squeezing this bag to try and fill up another water bottle. And it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? If there's a nice strong flowing river, I'm just going to drink from the waterfall part. And I did that, and I didn't get sick, and I still feel fine. And that was now over 24 hours ago. But having that super cold water on day 2 after summiting 3 more mountains on top of the first one we did the first day, so I'd like put my water jug underneath the waterfall, and then I took my hat off and I had a buff on too, and just poured it over my head, and just like, oh, it felt so good. This cold spring water or mountain water, and just pouring it over my head, getting that salt and sweat off me. It was just like heaven.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. Nice.
Oh yeah. Thank you, sir.
And then I just filled up my water bottle and just drank from that. There was a river or a stream earlier, and it wasn't flowing as much, and I filled up the squishable water bottle, and I tried to start using that, but you could see this kind of green tinge to it, so I maybe had a little bit of algae in it or something, and possibly that's what clogged up my water filtration system. And but again, the water that was coming out, like I looked down to the bottom and see if there was anything in it. It was it was like glacier clear all the way down to the bottom. I'm like, both Paul and Matthew looked at me like, I don't know, beaver fever. I'm like, there's no way you're gonna get beaver fever up on the mountain, I don't think.
Are you gonna filter it?
Whoa. Tastes pretty good. I've heard of beaver fever, but there's no beavers above us. I'd love to talk to other hikers and ask them if they've ever drank from the river. Like getting the runs. Sorry for the graphic explanation of some of the stuff, but you know, getting an upset stomach or getting diarrhea because you drank from a river, I think is better than dehydration. So in that situation, and Paul was running low on water, and I don't care if I get an upset stomach, I'm going to drink this water. And I didn't drink it from a stagnant pool, and like I said, when I filled up the water bottle, I looked to the bottom and saw that it was perfectly clear. and it tasted amazing. And I've always wanted to do that, but you know, the fear of drinking contaminated water is real, and people warn you about it. But I did it because I didn't want to dehydrate. I think that's worse than an upset stomach and an upset bowels. But I didn't get any of that, and I stayed healthy, and I put the more electrolytes in there to make sure I had all that kind of stuff. So today I'm feeling really good, and I'm really happy that we got those next 4 done. And see if I can remember. So is oh, come on, Ken, you can do it. Seymour Mountain was the first day. The second day was Seaward Mountain. Then Denison, and then I always forget that last one, Emos Mountain. So we got all 4 of them, and now we got up to our 31. But ate lots of great food, had lots of good stories, lots of injuries, lots of cuts and scrapes and blisters. I did one fall where my legs got kicked out from underneath me because on a slab of rock. Luckily, I just had grabbed a tree, and as I started to step down, both feet went out from underneath me. It flipped me over because I was not letting go of that tree, because I would have slid down about 10 to 15 feet of rock. It's like a slip and slide, but instead of a nice smooth surface, it's rock, and you don't want to slide down rock like that. So I didn't let go of that tree, and I didn't get it. And then because I did that, it flipped me over, and I smashed my shin hard enough that I thought it could have been broken. That's how hard I hit my shin. And my shin, I forgot to take a picture of it, but it just had this huge welt on the front of my left shin, and I just touched it right now, and it's sensitive, very sensitive. But other than those injuries, we got lots of stories about things that happened along the way, but last night we had our crack burgers, which is basically a 1-pound quadruple patty, quadruple cheese burger with their famous crack sauce on it at the Pickled Pig. And I could barely finish it. The last time I had it, I finished it no problem. This time I just, I got really slow near the end. I think Matthew finished his in about a minute and a half. It took me much longer than that. But I had a couple beers. Actually, I only had 1 beer there. Had 2 beers back at the cabin. Fell asleep, and woke up this morning. Went and had breakfast, and then now it's. I think we left. I can't remember what time we left there. Must have been like 10. Oh, must have been just after 9. So 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, because we had to buy our patches. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, for staying in touch with me through my vlog channel. I really appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you in the next vlog. Thanks for all your support. Talk to you later. Bye.